In many circumstances, we need a system to accept a dynamically assigned IP address and other information from the network's DHCP server. If you set up a connection during the installation of your system, this may already be how your settings are configured. But let's take a look at checking and setting those options in the GUI and then at the command line. I'll open up the NM connection editor and I'll have a look at my connection. I'll choose my Ethernet and choose Edit. I'll go over to IPv4 settings and make sure that the method is set to automatic. This won't get me an IP immediately. I'll need to save and reconnect the interface. But while we're here, I want to show you around a little. This DHCP setting gets an IP address, gateway, and DNS servers from the DHCP server. If I wanted to set this connection up to only get an IP address and gateway, but specify separate DNS servers, I can do that with the addresses only option. But for now, I'll keep it just on regular automatic DHCP. I don't need to change anything else here, since all of this will be handled for me when the system requests network information. I'll click Save, and I'll click Close. Now, if I type in nmcli con show my Ethernet to check out my network information, I can see that the change has taken effect. That's because I set AutoConnect to Yes in a previous video. If I hadn't, I would need to tell Network Manager to take down and bring back up the connection. We can do that with nmcli con down, and then the name of the connection, and then nmcli con up, and the name of the connection again. Great, so now we have a dynamic IP. I can also set this up from the command line using nmcli. I'll clear the screen, and I'll write nmcli con edit my Ethernet to edit the existing connection. Once more, I'm presented with a list of settings, and the one that we're interested in here is IPv4. Let's take a look at the current IPv4 settings with print IPv4. I can see here that the IPv4 method is set to auto because we just did that in the GUI. But if it wasn't, I could set that with set IPv4.method auto. And then I'll save and I'll quit. Again, to make sure these changes are reflected, I'll take the connection down with nmcli con down my Ethernet and bring it back up in a similar way, nmcli con up my Ethernet. We can also set all of this information at once from the command line. This way of doing it is handy for scripts where you don't want to go through an interactive process. For example, if I want to add another connection, I could write nmcli con add and then use the con-name directive to specify, let's call it othernet, and then the interface name, ifname, in this case enp0s3, my Ethernet adapter, and type Ethernet. Now I have a new connection called othernet. Because I haven't specified anything about the IPv4 method or addresses, it's assumed that I want this to be automatic. So right now, if I type nmcli d, I can see that my Ethernet adapter has the my Ethernet connection applied to it. But I can switch that by typing nmcli con up othernet and nmcli d. Now I can see that that connection is active on this device. And I can switch it back to my Ethernet with nmcli con up my Ethernet.